But anyways, now we're gonna head on to our next topic here, which is the ballers of the week. I think we've already alluded to some of ours. John, if you want to go first, the offense was hard. There were a lot of good offensive performances, but so you can take the wheel. Who you got for your offensive baller of the week?
Yeah, as I said earlier, I almost picked Davis Mills purely because of the game he had against Bill Belichick. I almost picked Tom Brady because he had an amazing game as well. But ultimately, I went with Mr. Justin Herbert. Uh, 60% completion percentage, not an amazing one there, but 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, total touchdowns, and that's 400 passing yards. I think he had like 40 rushing yards too. 5 total touchdowns, 0 turnovers. Justin Herbert. I mean, you don't win that game without a quarterback like Justin Herbert. So I got to tip my hat to him. It was hard to pick anybody but him.
Yeah, the only other person it was I would have picked him, but yeah, I wanted to include Lamar. Maybe because a little bit of the narrative that we just mentioned. But regardless, I mean, only 6 incompletions. It literally just won the game with his right arm for the most part. And we're starting to see, like John mentioned, he's building a connection with Hollywood Brown and Mark Andrews. And I mean, yeah, just becoming the game changer that we've all kind of expected him to be. Be interested to see what the contract talks are now after the first start of this week. Because if Baltimore was saying, "Hey, you need to pass the ball better," he's proven them wrong. So we'll see what happens with that contract. But yeah, that is my offensive ball of the week. But yeah, like you mentioned a lot, we're in consideration for me as well. And defense, I'll let you go first, John. Who was your defensive baller of the week?
I went with Darius Slay from the Philadelphia Eagles. Like I said earlier, he shadowed DJ Moore in the game. I think he only allowed 46 yards. It was in the 40s. I can't remember who it was. Terry McLaurin or DJ Moore had 42. The other had 46. I believe he had 46. So yeah, shadow DJ Moore, shut him down for the most part. Had 2 key interceptions in this game, and as we saw, it was a close one. It enabled this team to make a comeback in the second half and allowed them to end up winning this one. And then he also, or sorry, only 42 yards allowed. I actually have it on the graphic. And then he also had 3 tackles. So Darius Slay, I think he was a major part as to why his team won. And yeah, when you cover a number one receiver like that, have a really good day, and you're able to get your team the ball twice, amazing performance from Darius Slay. Almost put Marshawn Lattimore in here, but I think the 2 picks are really the key separating factor for me.
Just want to double check. So I guess I did put him here in week 2, but coming back from week 2, this was a tough week. Derwin James is in. John and I were talking. Derwin James is in consideration. I think I had someone else in my mind, but I'm going with Gregory Russo. I mentioned he had the interception on Mahomes. Also had a sack as well. Just one of the key reasons as to why this Buffalo defense is much improved from last year. He's showing to be the difference maker that they needed. In the AFC Championship, just the one difference maker on defense. And I think he's also just elevated everyone else on defense. Now things are easier for Ed Oliver and Star Lutulele and AJ Benessa and such like that. So he was mine. But yeah, there were a lot of other guys in consideration. This week was very tough on both sides of the ball, really. So that is my pick for my week 5 ball of the week. And yeah, John releases waiver wire picks on the Instagram because we record this on Wednesday. Our timing was a little off, so obviously we wanted to make sure you had his, his your recommendations early. It would be useless if we put them out now because most of them are probably gone if you look at by now. I know they were for me, so I don't know if you want to mention anything with that or if we want to just call it there for the day. All right. Oh,
Too late. If you haven't got them by now, like you said, they're gone.
all right. And just real quick before I forget, in case we don't do it in time tomorrow. I got the spread for the week 6 Thursday game. Tampa Bay favored by 6.5 at Philadelphia. Who are you going with, John?
I mean, the funny part here is the Eagles don't run the ball anyway, so it's just going to be a normal game for them. I don't expect them to run the ball against Tampa Bay, but I'm going to take Tampa. I think that front seven is going to be able to get some pressure on Jalen Hurts, make his life, pretty much living hell in this one. And then on the other side, we've seen this Tampa offense can really turn up against some, I don't want to say poor defenses, but ill-equipped ones. And this Eagles defense, although they have some, key guys like Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, Darius Slay, linebacker core still really isn't amazing. Injuries in the secondary, already lost Brandon Graham. So yeah, I think Tom Brady and this Tampa team should win by a touchdown or more.
Right with you. Yeah, I was gonna hit that point. I think besides Darius Slay, not many guys are gonna be able to cover all their receivers.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, I just don't think Philly's passing game is complex and nuanced enough and to capitalize on the fact that Buffalo's secondary is, something you can take advantage of. So,
Yeah, I mean the only one so far was the Rams. Like even the Cowboys they had success, but they couldn't win.
yeah. And yeah, they have a really good wide receiving core too. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, so we will see you all next, probably tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow being Thursday for our Thursday picks for the weekend. And yeah, so we'll see y'all then. And thank you for riding through with the technical difficulties with us. And we'll see y'all next time.